All right, let's be honest for a second. Have you ever spent hours, hours, crafting the perfect social media post? You send it out into the world and you hear absolutely nothing? Just crickets? It's a super common frustration. But what if the solution isn't about posting more? What if it's about posting smarter? Okay, let's really get into this and explore a powerful strategy to get your content not just seen, but actually heard. So, the biggest issue for so many brands out there is what you could call the invisibility problem. You're doing all the right things, right? You're creating content, you're posting it consistently, but you're just not getting the impressions or the engagement. It really feels like you're totally invisible. And believe me, there's a very specific reason why. And this quote, it gets to the absolute heart of the matter. You have to understand that platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, they weren't built to be your personal sales channels. Nope, they were built to keep users on their platforms for as long as possible. And how do they do that? Well, they do it by rewarding content that sparks an interaction. See, the algorithms are basically designed to look for signals like likes, shares, and especially comments. That's what they call meaningful interaction. Now, notice what's not on that list: direct click-throughs or purchases. The platforms are built from the ground up to reward conversation, not immediate conversion. This all leads us to the fundamental secret of social media success, and it really requires a total shift in your mindset. You've got to stop thinking of it as a sales floor where you're just pitching your products all day. Instead, start treating it like a conversation, or maybe like a party, where your job is to build relationships. Just think about it this way. If you walk into a party and the first thing you do is try to sell something to every single person you meet, you're not going to be very popular, right? Well, the exact same principle applies online. The hard sell right out of the gate is an absolute losing strategy. So if being that pushy salesperson is the wrong move, what's the right one? Well, to win, it really helps to adopt a strategy that comes from the world of boxing. It's all about throwing jabs before you even think about attempting a right hook. It's a simple idea, but it's an incredibly powerful analogy for how you should structure your content. Okay, so let's define what we're talking about here. A jab is basically any piece of content where your number one goal is to give value. So for a coffee shop, this could be a gorgeous video of latte art. For a tech company, maybe a super quick productivity tip. You're entertaining people, you're informing them, you're making them laugh. You're giving away value with zero strings attached, and you're building trust and connection with every single post. The right hook, on the other hand, that's your ask. This is your call to action. The buy now, the sign up, the learn more. It's that moment when you ask for something back from your audience. But here's the key. A right hook only lands with any power after you've already set it up with a whole series of successful jabs. I want you to imagine your content strategy like a scale. On one side, you have your jabs, all the value you give away. And on the other, you have your right hooks, the value you ask for in return. To really succeed, your content calendar needs to be heavily, heavily weighted towards the jabs. It's a constant stream of giving, just punctuated by the occasional well-timed ask. Okay, so the theory makes sense, right? Jab, 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 right hook. But how do you actually put this into practice? Let's get into a really practical playbook you can use for every single piece of content you create to make sure your jabs are actually landing and doing their job. Before you go and hit that publish button, you really need to become your own toughest critic. The key here is to run your content through a simple but super effective filter. And here it is, your engagement checklist. Before you post, run through these. Number 1. Is the text too long for someone just scrolling on their phone? 2. Is it provocative or entertaining enough to actually stop that scroll? 3. Is the visual itself high quality and striking? 4. Is our logo visible but not so big that it's obnoxious? 5. Is the call to action clear? 6, and you got to be brutally honest here, is this genuinely interesting to anyone other than us? And finally, 7. Are we asking too much from the viewer? Remember, a simple like is a much easier yes for someone to give than a click to buy. You know, when you start applying this framework consistently, something amazing happens. You shift from trying to game the algorithm to doing something much more powerful. You start earning your audience's attention by actually putting them first. And that's the ultimate takeaway here. This isn't some trick, it's not a hack, it's a strategy that's rooted in providing genuine value. You earn your place in someone's feed by making content they actually want to see and interact with. And the payoff for this value-first approach, it's huge. You'll start to see more consistent engagement, a growing organic reach, and best of all, when you do finally throw that right hook and make your ask, it will land with real, serious impact because you've earned the right to make it. So as we wrap this up, here's the final question I want you to ask yourself about your own social media strategy. Are you in the business of building relationships, one jab at a time? Or are you just swinging for the knockout with every single post and wondering why you keep missing? The choice, really, is yours.